Welcome to Andy's Garage. I'm Andy Phillips. Today I'm going to show you how to do the oil and filter change on a Jeep Wrangler TJ. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's slide underneath so I can show you the components we're going to be dealing with right here. So, coming right there, that's your oil pan. It's got a drain plug here with a 5/8 head on it. And then if we just come right back here on the other side of the frame, we'll be able to see there's our oil filter right there. So those are the two items that we're going to be focusing on. And if we look at it from a top view, here's your valve cover where we'll be adding in the new oil. And as you come right down there, you can also see the oil filter is located right there from this view as well. These are the items that you'll need to complete this. First of all, you're going to need your oil, which I recommend 5W30 full synthetic. If you are using just a regular conventional oil and you have a vehicle that you want to switch over to synthetic, I'd highly recommend it. So I'm going to be using 5W30. Next thing I'm going to need is a ratchet with a 5/8 inch socket to remove the actual drain plug. Next, you will need your oil filter. In this case, I'm just using a generic, so it's the ST16, but if you're using a Fram, it's the PH16. I believe 16 is the number for the Jeep Wrangler TJ. Next, you're going to need an oil pan that you can obviously collect all the oil in when you drain it. Also not a bad idea to use some gloves. So let's head underneath. I'm going to position the drain pan so we can start removing the plug. Just going to loosen it till it starts to drip, and then we'll adjust the pan accordingly. You don't want it to spray out. And it's not a bad idea to have the engine a little warm when you do this, that way the oil is flowing better. There we go. And you can see here how I have it positioned. It's a little windy today, which is not the best. Go ahead and let it drip all the way out. Make sure it's completely all drained. And then we'll be able to come underneath and do the drain plug. Okay, it's almost all gone, and then we're going to go ahead and remove the filter next. Next, I'm just going to clean off the drain plug. Just wipe off the threads real good, clean off anything, make sure there's no debris or fragments on there before we put it back on. It's all nice and wiped off. So we're ready to put it back on. Go ahead and hand tighten it, and then we're going to go ahead and get the ratchet, tighten it all the way, and then we'll torque it to spec. Clean up any excess oil that dripped out here around the drain plug. So I've positioned the oil pan underneath where the filter is. So if we come under here, we should see the filter is right up there. Now what I'm going to do is come around on this side of the frame as I showed at the beginning, because you have better access here so I can go through and reach it. So I'm going to film it from this side here so you can see what's going on. But I can grab it here and get a good grip on it. These things will usually come off just by hand. If not, if they're tight, you can always use a oil filter wrench or socket to remove it. If we come here, should be able to see it here as I'm turning it. And we want the oil to fall right into the pan. And you can see it there starting to come down, starting to drip. Bring it through here. Just dump the oil down, pull it through here, and then now we can just dump it all in here. That is the stud where we unscrewed the filter from. What I like to do, you want to go ahead and inspect it, make sure that the gasket didn't get left behind. And then I'll just also take a rag or paper towels and just clean in there, just to clean off anything before we put the new one on. Now that it's all cleaned and we've confirmed that no debris or gasket was left behind, we're ready to screw the new oil filter on. Next, we're going to get the new filter ready. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it out, and I'm just going to put a little bit of oil here along the gasket just to kind of lubricate that so we get a good connection. So I'll just do that. Go around the whole thing, just spread it out. There you go. Let's head underneath, we'll screw that in, and then we can start filling up the oil. Bring the new one in, line it up on that stem right there, and then just go ahead and tighten it by hand. What I do is, once you get it nice and tight, then take your hand and go around as tight as you can. You don't want to over tighten it, so just hand tighten it. There we go. You can also reach it here from the top if you want to get kind of grip there and just ensure that it's tight. There we go. Let's tighten a little bit more. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add the oil. So we have our funnel. Let's open this up. Get our funnel in place so we can start adding in the synthetic oil. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go ahead and start the vehicle. Just kind of let it cycle through. And then we're going to go ahead and check the levels on it. Let it run through a little bit. Shut the car off, then we'll check the levels on it. And then top it off as needed. Let's check the levels. Clean off this first so we get an accurate reading on it. and it looks good. It's full. All right, well, everything looks good. The levels are good. Oil's been swapped out. The filter's been changed. We checked underneath, made sure nothing was leaking or anything. Everything's good. Make sure you dispose of your old oil properly. So this pretty much wraps up this video. I'm gonna go ahead and drive it again, and I'd recommend it like after you drive it, maybe a day or so after you do it, check your levels again as the oil circulates through, make sure it doesn't go down at all. Top it off accordingly. But anyway, this wraps up this video. So I hope this video was informative for you. I hope it helped you out. Please send me any questions, comments. I would love to hear from you. And as always, I appreciate all the support. So please like the video, subscribe to this channel. I'm constantly posting new content, and I'll see you next time.